narcissist is constantly thinking about you. That is the topic for this video. They're constantly thinking about you. And you will know if this was the type of narcissist that you were dealing with. You will know it because when they were with you, when you were around them, they were very demanding of your attention. And they were very controlling as well. So that should instantly reveal that there was an attachment. They wanted something from you. And the more demanding and controlling that they were, it should reveal to you just how significant that was to them. But of course, the question is, why? Why are they constantly thinking about you? Because I'm sure if you clicked on this video, it is because it resonates with you. It's because you've noticed that you were dealing with. And you would assume that, yes, they must be constantly thinking about you. And I'm here to tell you that, yes, your suspicions are not invalid. Now let's get into the reasons why they are thinking about you. You have some innocence about you. Maybe some naivety. You may lack experience in some areas of life. And it may also be because of your strength, your mental and emotional strength. You may have discipline and self-control. You know how to limit or restrict yourself when required. But not only your strength, it is also because you may have a weakness or vulnerability, which many strong people, in fact everyone has as well. And that is how they get in. You may be trusting and forgiving. It makes them think that they've always got a chance. They can always get back in with you. And in some cases, it may not even be much of a choice for you. If you are being controlled financially by the narcissist, or maybe you are the target of a smear campaign. Of course, these types of things make it very difficult for you to leave. But as I said, the more demanding and controlling, the more restrictive they are on you. All of these things should reveal to you that, yes, they are constantly thinking about you. And I do believe that there is also a spiritual aspect to this as well. I do believe that when you are just all of a sudden thinking about them, it may be because, in fact, yes, they are thinking about you. This energy is being sent out there. this negative energy, and then it's taken away your peace of mind. But if you clicked on this video, I would say that yes, there is a good chance that this narcissist you are dealing with is constantly thinking about you. Because for you to even assume that, you must have noticed certain things in their behaviors. You must have noticed that they were very demanding, very possessive and controlling, because they see you as this object that exists to meet their needs. They see you as their possession. It's not because they value you as a person, or that they even see you as a separate person with your own feelings or needs. They just look at it like you're this tool, this appliance for them to use so that they can get their emotional needs met. The emotional needs that were never met when they were children. So they're using you for that. But of course, it is very difficult for them to keep you around once you catch on and once you figure them out. They want to keep you trapped, even though they may be the abuser in your life, and they're very negative, they're constantly away from you. They want to make you think that they have something to give. And by doing that, that is how they maintain the trauma bond. And as I said before, it may be something financially, or they may just try to get you dependent on them for validation. And they're very sneaky the way that they do this. And it typically comes after the devaluation, being attacked by a fly. Just try and walk over here out of the way. But yes, the trauma bond, this typically occurs after the devaluation, because I'm still being followed by this fly. It's following me all the way. Back to the topic, yes, the trauma bond after the devaluation. After the devaluation phase, and there is a reason for that. And of course, the reason is because you may already be self-validating. You may be very confident in yourself. And of course, that is a threat to their control, because they really need you. They need you more than you could have ever thought that you needed them. So of course, they've got to keep you trapped. They've got to keep you stuck. And the way that they do that is by impairing your sense of self and your belief and confidence in yourself, by making you think and feel like you're something else, or that something is wrong with you. Because of course, as empaths, the first thing we're going to think when someone sees something wrong with us, or as though they want us to be better or for us to change, we're automatically going to be thinking, okay, so what can I do to please you? What can I do to make you happy? And then that is when you're on this hamster wheel. You're trying to please them. And it's like no matter what you do, it's never good enough. Even if you achieve something that they want, they will always move the goalposts so that you never feel like you're enough. And it leaves you constantly dependent on them for validation. That's how they keep you trauma bonded. First, they have to make you doubt yourself and your own intuition, and doubt your own abilities and qualities and achievements. And then your own memory, perception, and sanity. And you've lost this inner compass, this thing that would normally direct you. And because of that, it leaves you very susceptible to external direction. It leaves you to be very suggestible. And of course, that is when the abuser comes in to suggest and direct you. And at that point, they can tell you whatever they want, whatever they think you want to hear, whatever they think is going to affect you, whatever they think is going to keep you stuck and under their control. And they will use intermittent reinforcement, where they give punishments and rewards at irregular intervals. And it leaves you to become addicted to them, where you may be being punished, you may be being abused, but then you're still there waiting for this reward. And it just leaves you holding on. And you're heavily dependent on them for validation, for a compliment, for something to uplift you, for them to tell you who you even are. Because by that point, after the devaluation, you have already lost yourself. You've lost your sense of self, and you're looking to them to provide that to you. For them to tell you who you are. And by that point, they can tell you anything. They can tell you the sky is green. And if you've been beaten down enough, a lot of you, some of you rather, may actually begin to doubt yourself. Or they might move things around the house. And they do all of these crazy things, but it leaves us looking at ourselves to think that something is wrong with us. When in actuality, you've really got to look at them and wonder what compelled them to do that in the first place. Thinking about you. You're constantly on their minds. Looks like they suddenly started leaf blowing over here. So I'm gonna get back in the car. I'm driving this Malaysian car now, the Proton. But I've got the BMW coming back later today. also got Nala in here as well. She's right down there. Also, there is actually a problem with the microphone in here. As you may have remembered from yesterday. So it's very hard to find a quiet space in Malaysia. As you probably noticed in my videos, I have driven in the last few weeks maybe 4,000 kilometers around the country, and wherever I go there's always these modified cars or motorbikes. It's almost impossible to get away from it. As you probably noticed yesterday, even when I went to this peak in the middle of the jungle, there was even a lot of people there as well. But I want to stay on here because this is a very important topic for a lot of you, I know. So I want to give more time to this. Even though it is quite difficult to concentrate a lot of times, because as you can see, there are always a lot of distractions. But despite that, I must, with this message, because I know that it is my purpose, and yeah, nothing brings me more joy than just to know that I am making a difference, a positive change to people's lives. I do have a lot to give. But yes, they are constantly thinking about you, and that is the reason why they do everything that they do. It's why they love bomb you, they manipulate you. It's because they're thinking about you and they want you to think about them. They want some of that energy. And it's also why they devalue you as well, because they're doing that to control you, to trauma bond you. And at times it's even why they discard you and why they ghost you, because that's meant to serve as a punishment, and that's meant to leave you thinking about them. Because of course they understand that we can form healthy attachments to people, but of course that does nothing for them. They have to try to harm you to get you to attach to them in an unhealthy way. That's what then gives them that control. But everything they do, it's really, they're never giving anything to you to replenish yourself. It's always something negative. It's always to take something away from you. Even if it is just your sense of self and well-being, or your confidence in yourself, your ability to validate yourself. And you will notice that as well, I'm sure. It's like even when they compliment you, it just feels so cringy. It feels dirty, creepy. Like, you know, even though it's like they're pretending to give something to you, when in fact their agenda is to take something away. And that's all they're really ever trying to do, is take away. Because yes, they do have a void. They do have this, it's like a cup that can never be filled, no matter how much you pour into it. Because there's a leak, there's a crack, so it just pours out. And that is why you will find that they are constantly thinking about you. They're very demanding and controlling. They demand all of your energy and time, because it's just constantly playing on their minds. They can't get you out of their heads. And it's usually because of envy, hatred, even jealousy as well. And because they can't control the inside, they can't discipline themselves. They've probably never been disciplined in their entire lives. They were always allowed to just roam free and do whatever they want. They always had enablers, even their parents enabled them. So because they can't control themselves and their actions, everything they do is just intended to control you, to bring you under their grasp, to where you can't escape. Because just your sense of freedom, your ability to make your own choices and decisions, that is a serious threat to their control. It intimidates them, and it makes them feel inferior to you. Because they look at it like, if there was a 100-meter sprint and you begin at the same place, you're heading to the same finish line, they look at it like if it was a fair competition, a level playing field. They already know that there is no way that they are going to win. So all they can do is weigh you down, even just tie you to a tree so that you can't even move. And they're like the type of people who will do that, and then they'll run off to the finish line, and then they'll come back to flaunt their trophy in front of you. Because it's all just this sense of control. They have to feel like they're winning at all costs. But of course, the reason why is because they feel like losers whenever they're around you. They feel completely insignificant in comparison. So it's like they always have to be there, and a lot of times they're just looking for a reaction, because they're constantly thinking about you and reacting to you. So they want you to react to them. They just want you to give your attention, even if it is just negative attention. That's good enough for them a lot of times, because they know they're not worthy of anything positive anyway. They know that what they do does not warrant positive attention. And they already know that you're not going to see them in that way. So instead, what they do, it's designed to elicit negative attention from you. It's designed to make you overthink and to think that you've done something wrong. It's always just to get something from you. Which is why when they're coming around you, you're just going to feel depleted. You're going to feel like you're holding on to yourself for dear life. And it's like even when they present the illusion, you still feel like you're being robbed, like something is being taken away from you. Even if it is just your energy or peace of mind. And they also feel very uncomfortable around you as well. Because they already know that you are greater than them. They know that you're a much better person. They already know that if the situation was reversed and you were in that position, you would never do the things that they do. So that already makes them feel a lot of shame. And that is why they have to try to turn everything against you. And to give this false narrative about you being bad or you being wrong. Which again, it's just to get you to put in more effort and to try to fix something. But I can guarantee no matter what you do, if you're dealing with a real narcissist, it does not matter how hard you try as an empath. No matter what you do to try to please them, because of course you recognize that yes, they are miserable. They do have a void, they're seeking something from you. But no matter what you do, it will never be enough. They will never be satisfied. There will never be a day where you can feel like, yes, I made them happy. Yes, we're good. You will never get that from the narcissist. They will never let you experience that. And of course, we all know the reason why. And the reason why is because if everything is fine with you and you're okay, then you're going to be looking at them for some form of reciprocation. You're going to be looking at them to give something back to you. And of course, as we know, narcissists have nothing to give other than the illusion. They can only present a false impression. Something that you have misinterpreted as being something else. And that is really all that they can do. Which of course, it's the reason why they never wanted to get to that point. The point where you've got one over on them. Where they acknowledge and accept that yes, you've done enough. They're satisfied with what you've done. Because otherwise, and you're going to be expecting them to do something for you in return for everything that you've done to them, done for them. And, you know, a lot of them don't even have the means. They really don't have anything to give to you. And even if they did, they probably wouldn't do that anyway. And of course, the reason why is because a relationship is like a game of tennis. So one person hits the ball the other person hits it back, and it just goes back and forth. You're constantly giving to each other to build this relationship together. And it's always like they drop the ball. They can't continue with the game. And that's not to say that it should be a game. I'm just using it as an analogy. And the reason why they drop the ball every time is because they don't have enough to give to you. They already know that if they laid all of their cards out on the table, you're not going to be satisfied with that. You're not going to see it as though it was a fair exchange. And you're probably just going to end up leaving them. Which of course is the last thing they want you to do, because they're constantly thinking about you. So by default, they have to withhold, even though they may not have much to give anyway. They do tend to be takers, which is why they are very negative, because they have a void within. So, yeah, even though, and it can pose as part of the illusion as well, the way they're constantly thinking about you. I mean, when someone's coming around you in that sort of way, you might automatically assume that they do have something to give. Because you would think, why else are they coming around in such an arrogant and entitled way if they don't have anything of their own to give to you? But again, yes, that is just a part of the illusion. It leads you to think that there's something there, when in reality there actually isn't. But it can fool you. It can mislead you. Just looking at the live chat, let's see what people are saying. Queen of the Gram says, my narc got mad when he came home and saw me watching your channel. Yeah, they will typically get really bad about that. They want you to continue believing in and validating the false narrative. Because of course, that is again what they use as an excuse to control you, to make you think that something is wrong with you. And despite the fact that what they've done to you is probably a million times worse, the last thing they want is for the shoe to be on the other foot, to where you can judge them. Because these narcs, they have to be the judge, the jury, the executioner, the ones who get to blame you. Because that's how they maintain their control. So yes, do be careful when the narc is coming around. You don't want them to see you watching these types of videos. Because of course, yes, it will just make them mad. They're not going to like it because it makes them look bad. They don't want to look bad, they want to look good. They want to look like there's nothing wrong with them at all. As though what they do is right, everything they do is good. So anything that opposes their false image, the illusion, they're going to want to keep that down. They don't want you to expose them. Let's see what else we got here. EA says, For me, it's the ruminating, what ifs, should haves, could haves, regrets, crippling regrets. You know, that's actually another reason why they targeted you and why they're constantly thinking about you. It's because they know that, yes, as empaths, we do self-reflect. We look within. Naturally, we're overthinkers. We're always over-analyzing situations. We're always looking for, because we've been trained from when we were children, to look for things wrong in situations so that we can make it better or so that we can fix it. And typically we always self-loathe and blame ourselves. We look at ourselves and think we could have been better, we could have done more. So they do play on that as well. They play on the fact that you are an empath, a kind, giving, generous person who just wants to help. They play on your tendency to feel regret. And it's really sad, I know, that there are actually predators like this out there who do this to people like us. But just having that awareness of it, hopefully that will help you to detach. Speedy Rider 47 says they get back what they put out there. Yes, I am a spiritual person, and I do believe that, yes, the energy that you give out, that is what you will get back. And it may not come back immediately, but in time it will come back tenfold. So all of this negative energy that they're putting out there, where they're constantly trying to take away and not replenish you or reciprocate anything back to you in return, I genuinely believe that, yes, that energy will come back to them eventually. Just looking through this live chat. Sergio Ramirez says she made the mistake of her life by discarding me. Yes, that's really it. They do. It is a huge mistake that they make by discarding empaths, people like ourselves, people who were trained from a very young age to just make things right, to make things better. I mean, that is exactly the type of person that you should have in your life. Someone who wants to help, someone who genuinely cares about you. But these narcissists, you give them an inch, they take a mile. You give them a little bit and they will exploit it, they will use and abuse you and then try to destroy you. Because there's something about this innocent nature that we have, and we're strong, although we may have some weaknesses as well. That's what draws them to us. And also the fact as well that, yes, we do overthink, overanalyze, we do ruminate. But this leaf blowing is going to get a bit crazy today now. I drove all this way to this park because I saw in the reviews, everyone says it's very peaceful. But since I've got you, all I heard was people yelling and screaming, and the kids in the park, and obviously this leaf blower as well. There's not much I can do about it. It seems to follow me everywhere I go. It seems that someone does not want me to share this message, and I genuinely believe that. A lot of people want to destroy the forces of good. They don't want to see us getting on here and spreading this information, uplifting people. But of course, yes, this is our purpose, to spread the vibes. And that is what I will continue to do. But yes, I think that is enough for this message today anyway. The narcissist is constantly thinking about you, and you will know that. You will recognize it from their behaviors, from how demanding and controlling they were when they were around you. That should tell you everything you need to know. But yes, if this video was helpful, you can give it a thumbs up down below. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Share and subscribe. If you'd like to book a one-on-one with me, you can do that on my website. It is narcsurvivor.co.uk. And also check out my Instagram as well. I have new pictures and videos of my travels every day on there. It is Narc Survivor YouTube and Instagram. Okay, thank you all for joining me. You all have a great day, and as always, I will talk to you in another video very soon.